There's so many things that I thought, basically, obviously it was shoddy. It was just, they wouldn't have handled a white guy's, if he was white, it would have been handled in a much different way, but, a lot differently. But it's, unity-wise, and we're not unified as a people in this country, black people, and if we had a unifying body, we would... I mean, they would have thought twice, really, because there's strength in unity and numbers. But, what can I say? It didn't surprise me. And I know he's got a bit of justice because the two guys have been sent to prison, but, it's still justice delayed and justice denied. Definitely, I definitely do think so. I'm not saying that they would like us anymore, but they would think twice, really, about it, especially if that unified body contained people like lawyers, people informed on social policy, and if we worked a bit more collectively. We need to wake up. I have heard of it and I've been along to a few meetings. My initial thoughts about it was that it would be beneficial to us as a people because we need to start now. I think the number one problem that's at the root of the things that we face as black people is that we are not aware of ourselves, our positive contributions to history, that we have been there's been a deliberate attempt to divide and rule us. And so we have to work towards unity and working as a collective unit to flourish and gain the things that we want. So in that sense, it's beneficial. A lot of that's going to be dependent upon the leadership. We need to, number one thing, we need to be ordered, and the order comes from the top up. If they can set an example and be on time, be ordered, have integrity, people will follow it and it will be more solidified and strong. So we can work towards things like building our own African and black and African schools, teaching African and Caribbean history and culture, moving on to universities. We can start working towards getting reparations for the slave trade, funding things like putting up funding scholarships for inventions, because this is what in medicine and technology, this is what they've encouraged us, the world has encouraged us to steer clear from. The thing is, I think the majority of the wider society is very uninformed about black issues and black history and black people as we are as a people. I don't know, they'll probably be thinking, well, we live in a multicultural society, what do they need to do that for? We're all supposed to be mixing, it's all supposed to be equality, and they're all geared up this way through and institutionalised in this way, in the same way we are, through the school systems, through the universities and through the media in a very hegemonic plan, basically. So I don't know, they probably wouldn't think it's necessary. They probably want us to be like Ashley Cole, no disrespect to Ashley Cole, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Just dancing on a night's floor with a rainbow. The most important to begin with, I think, if we're going to move forward, we need to do something called systematic rebuilding. We're very spiritual people anyway, and we're very godly people, and some of us take it too far, and they're so spiritually minded, no earthly good. But we need to be spiritually centered, and we need to not force our own personal spiritual paths upon others, because it's a very sensitive area. If we're going to get anywhere in Europe, we have to recognise that the biggest religious organisation and the largest and fastest growing church in Europe is the black majority church is Christian, and and a lot of people are not. I mean, obviously, other people have their own paths, so we have to be respectful and mindful of the fact that other people from different faiths within us have their own way of doing things. So I think going with this, I know that there's some people who feel that the right path is the African animism path, and they want to get back to the spiritualism of Africa. But then I think if they try to force that on other faiths and religion, it's going to break down. We have to work with what we've got, and it's a majority Christian. So just be sensitive to that. But I think the first thing as well, another fundamental thing we need to do is to start setting up the Saturday schools. We need to really encourage black families and black children that and let them know that the West can never tell them who they are. We have to go back and just educate and then start from there. Because once the mindset's right and you're spiritually centered, you're more focused upon where you have a direction on where you can go. Your path is kind of lit. Well, we have black people in the wider community that represent us in the Houses of Parliament, but again, they don't know themselves. They suffer from the same things a lot of other black people do. They don't know what to ask for. They don't know how to make themselves better. It's like, I hurt everywhere and I don't know what to do about it. They're only trained to benefit the Western system, whereas they should be, first and foremost, we should be of benefit to ourselves and then be of benefit to others. So I don't know, really. There's no one I know personally but the type of person that I wouldn't like to see holding that role is somebody who's ill-informed and it is just maybe just a fresh newborn Pan-Africanist with a lot of anger and lack of wisdom. That would be catastrophic. Someone very seasoned, someone who's at peace with themselves and is at peace with outsiders, as well. I think I play a big part already because I'm on the email circular and I send that out and I talk to people about the kinds of issues that National Afrikan Peoples Parliament do. I always try to attend the demonstrations. I'll be there on the 2nd of March, but within the core, the inner circle of the National Afrikan Peoples Parliament, I know very little about that. So I don't give myself lightly to leadership roles of things that I don't know enough about. Not because it necessarily would be bad, but I don't know, I wouldn't want to overcommit myself or do things or commit to something that I couldn't give 100% because it was too much. So it would depend, yeah. But I see myself as doing something, I'm giving myself now over to the call of building up our people. So wherever God wants to take me, I'll go,